Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Friday, TGIF. I'm with some of yous. It's Friday evening, and some of yous it's actually Saturday morning, and I think it's Saturday morning. Let me think. Australia is midnight or something like that. Yeah, so we're getting... Some people are actually into the Saturday already. And so, same with New Zealand and so forth. And let's see, we're on the chat line. Let's see if anybody's up there. So far, no one is saying anything in particular. There we are. And what else can we say about any of this? I guess you can see the dollar index. Ooh, look at that bounce back up from 99.23 back to par. So we figured we'd get into the mid 99s or high 99s or low and then bounce. 1 or 2 days there and zoom, and sure enough, there it is. After a second day down there, a little bounce back up. Bank stocks are looking a little happy today. Overall, their numbers are coming in looking good. Most of the projections look fine. There's no real issues, I guess you could say. So, we're just kind of like looking at that and saying, ooh, not bad, Seeing the type of action we're getting there. What else can we say about any of this? I guess that's about it. And then we'll go from there. What else can we say? I guess that's about it. So let's look at the dollar. Let's see how it's acting. As you can see, let's see. Did we ever get that open? We didn't get that open. Okay, we'll go like that. Open there. And then we'll run over to Robin 1, and that will have the dollar index in it. Right there. There we are. It's a little bounce, nothing major. And it's reflecting let's see, what's going on there? So the Hinky actually has it up a par 74. Let's just turn that off for the moment. So we're in a third day underneath the century mark. There we go. Okay, that's better. It's just the Hinkies doing it right now. All right, so we'll just push that back up on there. And at the same time, you can see it over in Chicago Quan. It's up just a little bit, making a new low again today, down to 99.25. And it's no real surprise to us here, so that's good. That's the idea, is not to be surprised in trading. We're not looking for surprises. We like basically the slow and steady. The key word there is slow and steady. Slow is the key word there, and steady. Both of them are two good words. Slow and steady. Now, what else can we say about that? I guess we could take a peek at it. Oh, that's the weekly. That's why it looked like that. Aha! Let's take a look at the daily. That's better. There we are. Now it makes more sense. Okay. You can see our weekly is still piercing down. There's no look like it wants to try to lift up. It's just a Hinky Ashky doing that statistical average, And like we've said, Hinky Ashkies relate around 67 to 70% of the time accurate to our dots, and the tough part is that they're behind by a couple hours usually. So, and then but compared to using MACD and all those others, forget about it. This is so much better looking at a fast stochastic and a slow stochastic, and look at the Hinky Ashky bars. Much more efficient. All right, now from there, we'll dance our way over to, let's see what the euro looks like this morning. There it is right there. There's the daily. Very firm, not really having its issues, It's steady, consistent. Let's see, where's it at? Right. Let's go right there. There's the euro. You see it's lifting. It's just a little off for the day. Nothing major, but made a new high. It's been in that weekly buy since back in here. And the buys, this one was actually a loss. That buy was a loss. And obviously that buy is like a super duper win, win, and then win like 20 times more than what you lost. So that's a interesting action going on there when it comes to the euro. We have been looking at the euro GBP, seeing who's outperforming who, because we know those two particular currencies are outperforming the dollar. You know, they're gaining and the dollar is losing. So it was interesting yesterday. We looked at them that way, and we use the measuring stick through the Japanese yen, which is even more interesting. So now let's look at cable. Oh, I wanted to save that too. Let me do that. Save the euro. Save the euro. There it is. And there's cable. Cable doing the same thing, rolling over a little bit more than the other. So I'd imagine when we go to, and I want to save, no, I don't need to save that. But when we go and look at GBP JPY, or in this case here, Euro GBP, right there, it's probably still up. Yeah, it went into a sell yesterday, goes into a buy today, putting a little push into it, and the weekly is trying. We got the weekly really trying to get through that zero line after all these months, you know. And it's going to be a real consistently horse race between these two currencies. This is the second and the third largest currencies in the world, and you know I'm sorry, second and the fourth. The Japanese yen is the third, and the American dollar is the first, and I guess you could say Canadian is the fifth. Is that euro, yen, cable, Canadian, and then the Swiss franc is the sixth, and the kroner is the seventh. And that's how the world works, really. All right, now let's take a look at, we go to the Swiss, the sixth most active currency in the world. Right there. A little bounce up. Looks like little profit taking going on for the time being. We'll see how well that goes on. You know, in other words, when will they peel off and start to say, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, we're going to stay with this position." Oop, there we are. That's usually the way it plays out too. And we'll just watch them dance and jump up and down. But I think overall we've been looking for this dollar to break the century mark, hang around down in there a little bit, you know. I guess I heard like Mr. Trump was speaking with Marie Bartiromo, and hey, Robin, yawn. Yeah, it's quiet today, isn't it? You know, when Giannis is around, he finds a way to inform people that I'm on, you know. And then when he's not around, it gets quieter. Yeah, exactly. Yawn. Going to go down to Jeffrey's around in 2 hours, I guess it is. 2 hours? Yeah, 2 hours. And we'll see. Give you a yell from there, and we'll go to the dashboard and do all that stuff. Give you another weapon to wield. All right, let's put the Swiss up on J4X, right there. And you see that slow glide down, the same thing, like a waterfall, really. The fast stochastic's trading at 5.8, almost 5.9. The slow is trading at 2.7. So it's almost double that. So it's trying to make a little bounce in there. All right. And then we slide over to the big pillar, the third largest currency in the world, the Japanese yen. Maybe the Chinese will pick up the yen as a currency. They need a currency, that's for sure. Um, let's see, what do we got here? So right there, you see it's a nice little bounce up. It's taking a little profits from its little waterfall there. You see the same thing, green line bouncing up, but we are still flirting with the weekly sell. And if they don't put a real charge into this today, chances are we're going to see this thing close in a weekly sell. Maybe they'll give it a little bounce next week and then do one of those things and play back. We'll see. We shall see. This adventure is definitely not over with, that's for sure, when it comes to the yen. Yen. Let's save this. Now, that's dollar. Let's see, where's it at? Save workspace. There we go. Now that's dollar yen. Let's take a look and see what kind of bounce they're getting out of the euro yen right there. That's not challenging any buy, or it's staying in the buy with no problem whatsoever. Not challenging the sell. It's very firm. You can see the daily is jumping up the same way with the way the dollar yen is right there. And then let's go check it out on GBP JPY, which tipped us off of the way the yen really functions. Same thing, it's trying to climb up. It's not changing any weekly direction there either. So we're assuming that the euro and the cable will be firmer than the dollar overall. And it's outperforming the action when it comes to the yen pairs trades of both. Interesting stuff, very interesting. Let's take a sip of our tea since the place is kind of quiet. All right, now from the yen, we'll go over to the Turkish lira, which yesterday made another all-time high. Getting through the 30, where we were looking for it to get to, and it got to. And there it is right there, that spike. It's a little up today, nothing major. It's trading at 29.36. Yesterday's high is 29.30. I'm sorry, 30.37 basically. 30.37. 30.36.99. So basically 37. We've reached our target from down here when we thought we were going to see a 31ish to 33 area. We're very happy just with a 30. We'll see for a couple days and then see if they jack it through that 31. That there's when you get through the 31, you're starting to head for the 0.618 move. It's already done the 5.0. It started at 20, it got to 30. That's 5.0. Now that's why it topped out there. And if it gets through the 5.0 again, and then we start to look at the 0.618 move out of it, which could be awful big, What would that be? That would be 120. It would be about almost 33. That would be really wild to see it hit the 0.618 move from where we thought it was going. And that is... Let's show it to you on J4X too. Right there. Now, I thought that we saw a little positiveness because they actually seem to be trying to get back with the European Union. And we thought, wow, that could be a very positive sign. But not, alas, it has not helped it that much. They just reminded them that when they blew it through the 31 after a couple of days of talk of helping out the European Union and maybe even joining it again and helping NATO out, next thing you know is it makes another all-time high. Let's do the tea again. Whoop! There goes the lid. All right. Let's see now. So there's the Euro Turkish lira. What else can we say about it? Let's take a look at the weekly on it. Yeah, the weekly's not backing off at all. Buried up in the 90s, you know. The fast is at 98. The slow is at 96. Wow. Talk about hitting the ceiling, you know. All right. From there, we go to the Mexican peso. We're waiting for the country to pull the Indian thing and declare that they're not joining. So far, they're acting like they're joining the BRIC. So we're going to consider, if they're going to be joining the BRIC, that makes them the #1 BRIC in the world. Another sip of the tea. That's why we call it the M-BRIC. So you can see here, you know, it's been in a sell for 3 days, gaining against the dollar. Been in a long weekly sell since early April, that type of thing. I'm sorry, yeah, early April, yeah, mid April. So it's been in that weekly. Where's that mouse out again? Right there, all the way back in here into the April area. It's been in that sell, and let's put it up on J4X. And there's the daily doing the same thing, rolling over like that. The fast is at 12.3, almost 12.4. And the slow is at 12.8, almost 12.9. Just tick 12.9 again. There it is. So, you know, just towards the bottom of the range, banging against things. And then we'll go take a peek at it on a week-to-week basis. And there it is there. It's just been gliding down. Same thing in April. In the Marchy, beginning of April, early April, and it's been just driving down, 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 down. Really powerful. Let's take a look at the euro again in that same, or you know what, the cable. Let's look at the cable in that same fashion. Against the dollar, right there. Yeah, and it's been a little hesitation from that April area. You know, it ran up, backed off a little bit, and then took off. Let's see what the euro looks like that same way on that weekly. Yeah. There's your April. Takes off just like everybody does. Fails. And it takes off again. Interesting how strong that Mexican peso has been. You know, it's an oil nation. It's one of the bigger oil nations in the world. It does more trade with America than China does. Definitely a power people are not paying attention to. That's why we call it the King Peso. All right, and then from there we go over to the second biggest BRIC, and that is the South African Rand right there. See, it's doing a little profit taking, as we see right there, a little bounce up, losing against the dollar. When it's going down, that's gaining against the dollar. When it bounces up like this, it's losing against the dollar, gaining dollar, losing against the dollar, gaining against the dollar, a little bounce, losing against the dollar. It's been in a weekly sell since here, and it fell down, then it went up and broke it. Still stayed in it, but we were in a weekly buy to protect you all the way up to there. And then it tried to do it again, and then when it went into the sell here, that was the winner, 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 winner chicken dinner, making nice lows. All right. Now, what is that? That's right there. Let's put South Africa. Now, looking at the South African Rand, we go like this. We click on gold. And there's the gold. And what you see there is, when gold is going up, South African Rand normally is going down. And that's what we've been doing for the last couple of days. Now, today, let's take a look at it on Chicago Quant. And gold says just sideways down, nothing major. Looks like next week's business could be a weekly buy. That would be neat if we got a weekly buy. Yeah. And that will be the new story in the end. All right. We'll go over and check out silver when we get to the when we get out of all the rest of the currencies, which is not far now. In many ways, we've always said, when I was young in currency trading, we used to watch the silver against the Mexican peso because that was like, until they became a major oil nation, that was like their number one export, silver. I mean, besides vegetables and things like that, and labor. Yeah, turquoise and things like that. People paid attention to the price. They bought it out of Mexico. All right, now we go over to we'll look at the Canadian, the last of the currencies that we look at right there. Canadian just bouncing up a little bit, but been going down for the last 6 days. And when we go and look at energies like crude oil, let's put it up over here. Texas Sweet, you can see the last 6 days has been moving up nicely, and it started to take off beforehand too. So when this was bouncing around and confused a little bit, the little pop and then back and boom and twist, turn, and squiggle, as I guess you could say. And the end result is that the energy, has been rallying, and let's put it up over here. The energy has been rallying, right there. See it trading it's down just a little bit today, and that's why the Canadian is down a little bit against the dollar, but barely, just a little noise, nothing major there. All right, what do we got from here? Where do we go from here? Let's take a look at, so that finishes the currencies. Okay. Nobody out there want to see anything particular in the currencies? We'll give you a chance before we start to march over into we'll go, what do we have? We have oil up there. We can go look at the oil sector, or we can go into the metal sector. That was good. The tea is done. We found our morning coffee, then we had our morning tea a few hours later. Now we just have bottled water. All right. From there, we're going to go over to where are we going? We are going over to right there. We're going to take a look at the energy sector again. There's crude oil. You can see, ooh, look at that red dot out of nowhere. A little pressure there. 76.80 basically, 76.79 at the moment it's trading. Let's take a look at the back month. October, 76.38. And so is that's 42. So it's picked up a couple pips or cents on the premium. So obviously there is demand for the oil market up front to take delivery. Now from there we'll go over and take a look at, let's put up on the J4X. There's the crude. Now let's put up the Brent. I imagine it went up to 81 yesterday, didn't it? Yeah, there it is. There's the 81 and change. It's still up in the 81s. 81.31s are offered. 26.27s are bid for. The crude itself is lifting. And what else we got going on here? I guess that's about it when it comes to crude itself. So what we'll do is we'll switch over to natural gas. There's the natural gas. It's doing a little bouncy bounce. Still in that long weekly buy now for a full 5 weeks. Doesn't look like it's breaking down, but see that here? The fast has dropped, closed underneath there last week. It's underneath there now. The product has been breaking down. That buy was okay. It was a winner chicken dinner. Now the sell is telling you not to be long, even with it in a weekly buy. It's telling you that there's some issues. So it's in a neutral position at the moment. And where are you? Right. I just saw you. Where is natural gas? Brent, copper, gas. Right there. There it is. Daily's over here doing the same thing, showing you weakness. The slow is at 44. The fast is at 25. Wow. We're really smashing on it. Then let's take a look at the weekly. Right there. and you can see that pressure there. 2 weeks now, it's going to be in a weekly sell. You can see the fast is trading at 74. I'm sorry, 59.9. The slow is trading at 74.6. So they're putting pressure on this thing, and this matches up always much better to the dotted one, the fast algorithm, which is interesting how it does that. All right. I know why too. It's the cycle that we're using. They're both cycling on the fast is cycling on the same cycle as this, so that's why that's interesting. All right, now from there we go over to where we go over to. We go over to, let's make this a daily, and we go over to Spain, and we take a peek at what the Spanish oil company is doing today. That's usually insight to the natural gas price, and there it is right there. SA, hey SA, 27s. It's doing a little bounce up. We were so happy when it broke into the 25s. We thought, oh, maybe they give these poor Europeans a break, but no, not at all. You know, they still find ways to take the natural gas up. So tough. Disappointingly tough. All right, now, so there's the energy of Europe, natural gas. We've shown you Brent. We've shown you the light sweet crude out of the United States, and how the demand is for the front month for delivery. You know, sometimes it discounts to the back month, and then it means that they don't want to take physical delivery. All right, so from there we're going to march over to the metals complex, and let's see what gold looks like again. There it is, gold, and we'll put gold up over here. I just want to save this gas. And let's also save crude oil. Augie doggy crude oil. There we go. Just thought I'd save a couple of those. And let's save the S&Ps. I'm not sure if anybody needs them, but we're going to save them anyway. There we go. Now let's go to gold. And there's gold. Gold's just dipping down as we saw before. The fast is breaking on the upside. You can see the same thing here. We've got 91 on the fast. We have 87 on the slow. You know, it's doing the same thing. It's showing that strength. It's not letting go. Let's take a look at it on the weekly on J4X and see how it's probably turning into a green bar, or it probably is a green bar at this point. Yep, see right there. Just the same way the fast is pushed into the green. We're just waiting for the slow to join in, and then it's a safer trade. All right, now let's save that while we're here. And Augie doggy. Now let's take a look at silver. Silverado. Right there. Barely unchanged. No problem getting into the weekly on both. Might as well just knock that out at this point. Remove it. It's going to take a calamity to literally not make this thing close in a buy today, a weekly buy. There we are. Let's save that. Save workspace. And let's take a picture of it. Snapshots. Click. Click diddy doo dah. Yes, so. All right, and let's put it up on J4X. right there. Doing the same thing, definitely cleanly through. Fast is at 53.9. The slow is at 40.2. So the pressure is on the upside. And let's look at the daily. Same thing. It's running hot, heavy, and straight. Fast is trading at 95.5. Slow is trading at 87.8. So they're pushing it and pushing it and pushing it into the old buy ski. Now, brown cow. What should we look at next? I guess we normally go right to copper. So let's take a look at the copper. We'll throw it up on J4X to start off with. Right there. And let's get it up over on Chicago. Right there. Just a little bit off today, nothing major. Still in a weekly buy for a good 5 weeks. And daily buy for the last 6 days. You can see the same thing there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the fast is at 95, 94.9. Slow is at 82.9. 82.9. Let's save that. There we are. Copperado. Bingo. Bingo, bango, bongo. Now what we do is we lean, and we're hoping to see platinum in the weekly buy. Ooh, it's so close. It's, look at that, 20. Oh, it just went from 24 to 36. 0.36, 0.40, 0.42, 0.60. It's listening to us. And if that closes in a weekly buy, maybe gold will even do it this week. I doubt it. I kind of thought it would be next week's business, but you know, anything's possible in that marketplace. You can see the daily still lifting nicely. It's been very firm all week long. We're in a buy for 5 days, and that weekly, after, was it like 9 weeks in a sell? I think it was 9 weeks, 8 weeks. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep, this 8 full weeks in a sell. And then this week it came in and failed, and now it's trying to get into the buy at 0.64. So they're just pushing and pushing on that just as well as they're doing anything else. And that's the magic of platinum. All right, now, brown cow, we go and we look at, let's see, we go and look at stock indices. So let's just take a peek at the intraday action of the S&P 500 to start off with. You can see here we've made a move all the way up into the 50 area. We're at 4,550 as we speak. The high today is 4,552.75. So this thing is acting extremely good. Extremely good. They're all excited now. Remember, the adjustment comes out on at the close of today, and then what happens is that we will see how they treat this market next week if they try to sell it down a little bit because of the adjustments. I myself was speculating that we would see no real selling, and we've seen it in Apple. Let's show you Apple. You know, we have seen it in Apple. Apple's in a let's see, let's do this. There's Apple. Apple. Apple is the biggest company in the world. It's almost a $3 trillion economy when it's trading above 191. You can see here today it's trading at that's Tesla. There it is. It's trading at 190 as we speak. When it's at 191, it's a $3 trillion economy. We went into the sell here, went down for a day, lifted. It's been holding up, but we really believed, as we've said earlier, last week, we really believe that funds are not going to sell their long positions and use that money. Instead, I think they're right now what we're seeing is they're buying the adjustment and not selling the ones that are getting diminished. I think that's how they're doing. They probably have already adjusted by buying the ones that are going to be pumped up. Now, the S&P, that was it, the Nasdaq. Let's show you the Nasdaq. We'll go back to that real quick. I want to close this too. The Nasdaq is yes, there it is. Right here is trading down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Probably because they're not buying the big stocks. In other words, the Amazon, the Apple, the Google, the Meta, they're not buying them. The Intel and the Microsoft, they're not buying them as much. And there it is right there. Just barely down. Matter of fact, now, is it still? Yeah, it's showing down 6 points, that's all. It was 5 points a few minutes ago. But, a few seconds ago, I guess you can say. So we're seeing that I don't really believe there's any selling in there per se. It's just that the lack of buying. That's what I think it is. So, and that's the NASDAQ 100, still in a daily buy with no problem for 4 days now? 4 days in a daily buy. And at the same time, the weekly's been in a weekly buy for 17 weeks. Going for an 18th. So there's 4. There is 8. Let's see if we can move this over and still see that. There is 12. There's 18. This will be the 19th week in a weekly buy. What's it? 20? We get 26 weeks. We're at 19. It'll be half a year in a weekly buy. And what has it done since it went into the weekly buy? It has found a way to go up from the 13,500 area to almost the $16,000 area, right? 15,700. So that's what can happen. We've seen not the cable, the Turkish lira do that, where it goes 20 and 30 weeks. One time we saw it go 54 weeks. One time we saw it go 51 weeks. This move from one Turkish lira to 30 Turkish lira, we've seen massive moves that just stay in buys forever. Or sometimes it sells, depending on the direction of the product. Anyhow, that is the NASDAQ. So now we go to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. There we are. And it's trying to get to the high of the day. Try to take out, it still hasn't taken out this high of about 4 weeks ago, back in early June. What was that, June 16th? We're waiting to see if it'll take out that high and move us up to the 3,500 area. It's going to be we'll see the supply and demand activity next week. There's a few analysts I've heard think that it could be a much weaker week next week because of the adjustment. Makes sense to me. And at the same time, our math always gets a little skewy going into the end of next week, all the way into then the following week is the last week of July. And then, I think that's how it plays out. And then usually it gets a little skewy in the first week of August and sometimes the second week. So it's like a 3 or 4 week period where it gets a little sloppy, our math. That's why we're 8.5 out of 10. And then this is going into the weakest of accuracy normally. We've warned you a couple times where sometimes it doesn't do it, but I mean overall over the last 30, 40 years I've seen it. This is where it really becomes dogged. It's shortened up. Used to be it got weak in the middle of July or a little bit right after the 4th of July and it got sloppy, and it would be sloppy until like the second week of August or going into the third. Now it seems to be the second to last week of July, which is starting next week, and the first week of August going into the second week. So it's shortened by about 3 weeks compared to what it used to be 20 and 30 years ago. What else can we say about that? What is that? That is the Dow Jones. let's take a look at the most speculative of the four, and that is the Russell 2000. And it's holding up well. It's looking very firm in there. Let's put it up over here. There's your Russell. And you see that's been very firm. Slow is trading at, well, the fast is trading at 92, and the slow is trading at 92. They're both, the fast is at 93, and the slow is at 92.6. It's very tight. We're up at the top end of the range. Well, we might see this thing do a little move even further. We might even go after the 2000 area. Again, next week is going to be really sloppy. We're going to start to move into the slow. So, it'll be an interesting market. Money managers watch this very closely. This is, when this is moving, it gives them confidence, makes them brave. When it's not moving and it's going down, it makes them concerned and makes them fearful. And this is literally the fear. They want to call the volatility index the fear index. This is the real one. It's the Russell 2000. That's really what that is. That is the crutch of it all. Honestly, it's amazing. It definitely shakes them up. It really does. They used to be decades back. It was the Nasdaq. When the Nasdaq was weak, people, money managers were concerned because they were mainly invested in the like the Dow and the S&P 500. They were the two competing products. But now in the 21st century, it's a total different game, and you find that the Nasdaq now is the biggest stock exchange in the world, and it's 5 times bigger than the New York, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average has 7 of the 7 Nasdaq stocks in it out of the 30, and they are real powerhouses. And so, that's really the freak out, I guess you could say, of it all. So anyway, what else can we say about any of that? And that's kind of neat, though. It is kind of neat. We always have some type of index that shows us where speculative money is really running. Matter of fact, look at that now. Let me just show you the Nasdaq, which is a very active product. It's got major products in it, but it's up 3 points now. We were looking at it before; it was down 6 points. It's just part of the strength that we've been seeing. And trying to think what else we got going on here. So that's the stock indices. Let's do this. Let's take a look at. I want to go to the new chart, the S&P, the Chicago Quant, what we call the live chart of where's it at? Right there. And I want to take a look. Oop, that didn't do it. So we get rid of that like that. Delete, and then we go to. There we are. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at this. This is right there. And I want to look at Bitcoin on that. That's what I want to look at. Let's see. Let's find the Bitcoin. Let's move that over a little bit. Right there. Fetch. You can see there it's been in a weekly buy for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and you can see it ran up to, where does that get to? Let's see if we can identify that. And it got up to the 31.8 yesterday. We're trading at the 31,100 basically today, 31,100. Yesterday they got as high as 31,814, as you can see there. And so it's been in that daily buy. Let's straighten that out again. Yep. Let's fix it again. There we are. And we'll put it back in there again and bring it over to you. There we are. Fetch it. Bing, 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 bing. And so there we are. There we go. Yep. That's the action you see there. And that's the daily. There's your weekly. 5 weeks in a weekly buy. See the green, the blue line, the fast leaping through. You see the slow got through at the same time. They showed that strength. And back in here. Back in here, you can see the same thing. Let's see, move it over a little bit like so. See where it's been in a daily buy for 2, 4, 6 days now. You know, and caught that ride from, where did it catch that ride from? It's just, let's see if we can put that up there again. Fetch. Right there. You can see it's looking good. Went into the buy right there. So holding on pretty nice. All right. Yeah, this is going to be our platform where you can tune it in on your machine all day long and look at the products you're paying for. Not bad, eh? It'll be neat with our math. Not as pretty, but we'll get it going. We'll make it prettier and prettier, but I'm sure you like the accuracy. That's more important than the pretty. So, anyhow, what do we got next? So yeah, that's Bitcoin. And you know what? Let me do this. Let's go over and look at. Let's move this off and go like this. Let's take a look at coin ETF, because that really shows the strength. Let's see. Do we have it? Do we have it there? Yeah, right there. I know it's an index. That's what it is. So let's close this, and we're going to show you the coin. Open workspace. This is the ETF. It's over $100 now. It was down to like $30 at one point. $25, $30. It's tripled in value. There it is right there. All right, right there. There's coin. And you can see no more than back into June. It had made a low of $46. You see in May, it made a low of $47. So 46. Okay, that was the low right there, 46. Okay. And then I think somewhere along the while, at the beginning of the year, it was in the $36 area here. So it started off at $36, and now it's trading at, let's fix that. Just make it 20. Default. There it is. Huh. How do you get two of those like that? Oh, okay. I see what's going on. It's unchanged basically at the 106 area. That's what it is, and this will be wiped out when it opens up in 7 minutes. 8 minutes it'll open up. It's been in a daily buy since the 70s, high 70s. Been in a weekly buy since the high 50s, low 60s, and you had your sell right there for one day, and then it jumped right back into the buy right there, and you couldn't take the sell, of course. Why, traders? Because we were in a weekly buy. That's the reason why. All right. So now the bigger question is, what is the title of today's webinar? That's the big one. What should we label today? We've seen a lot of interesting things. I guess we could say is markets are moving towards the slow part of the summer. How's that? That's one thing I talked about that happens every year. What else can we say? Natural gas was missing up. Crude. Dollar has been weak. Dollar weak, but markets move towards slow part of the month. I don't know, something like that. Some type of title. What can we call it? Okay, so um, let's see. Markets peaking, maybe. Markets peaking. Kind of makes some people want to short the poor thing. Markets moving to the top or the top end of the range. How's that? That sounds right because that's the way I look at it. Markets are, let's see, markets at top end of range. There we are. I think that's the best way. Markets at top of range. How about that? Make it top of range. Oh. Yeah, I think that's the best way to look at it. All right, traders. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend. We will catch you on Monday, which will be, thank goodness, it's Monday. And so, here we go. And that is happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend. And we will see you on the flip side on Monday. So, let's say sayonara. Hey, hey, hey. I hear ya.